Hey everybody, my name is Brandon. Welcome back to Cinefessions, where we talk all things media, and it is officially the first Tuesday of 2023, which means we need to talk about my most anticipated releases of the upcoming month. Now, January 2023 is quite an interesting month for home media releases, simply because there's not a whole heck of a lot that I'm really excited about. So there are no honorable mentions in this one, and I had a struggle to put 5 on this list. The number 4 and number 5, I honestly don't even know if I'm going to end up picking both of those up this month, but 1 through 3 I definitely want to grab. So it's a weird month, but I still wanted to share my thoughts on what's coming out. So let's get into this real quickly, guys. Before we do, though, if you have a second, please hit that like button down below. That engagement really does help me out. But with that said, let's not waste any more time at all. Let's dive right in to the 5 January home media releases that I need to own. Jumping right into number 5 on my list for January is The Menu from 2022. This one is being released by Disney/Buena Vista, and this comes out on January 17th on Blu-ray. So there's no 4K release for this one, but I think that's fine for this. So this is a horror film that has been getting a pretty decent amount of praise since it released last year, and I do want to see it. I just don't know if I need to own it, especially at $20, which is the current price on Amazon. So this is one I will probably pick up eventually, but I'll likely end up waiting on a price drop for it. So this one is about this couple who travels to this remote island to go to this fancy restaurant, but the menu turns out to be a little bit more than they bargained for. From what I hear about it, which I've heard very little about it, to be honest, and I like to keep it that way, especially with my horror films, but I guess this one is supposed to be more of a horror comedy, which honestly can be hit or miss with me. I'm just never all that excited to see a horror comedy like I am with a straight horror film. So I don't know if I'll end up picking this one up right away or not, but it's out there. It's one that I'm definitely interested in seeing. I just don't know if I need it in the physical media format on release day. In terms of the special features on this one, there are 4 featurettes, which is always good to see, plus 3 deleted scenes. So it's not a bare bones disc from Disney, which is always a positive thing. So if you're interested in this movie, or you are someone who's already seen it, at least there's a little bit more meat to this Blu-ray bone. So that's always a positive. So like I said, this one comes out on January 17th of this year, and it looks pretty darn good. From Disney Buena Vista. It's currently $19.99 on Amazon, so we'll see if I end up picking up The Menu now or if I wait for a price drop. My number 4 pick for the month of January is one that I honestly didn't expect to get until I started looking at some of the reviews of the disc. This is Black Adam from 2022, and this one releases today from Warner Brothers on January 3rd, of course coming to 4K. And like I said, previously, I wasn't planning on buying this right away. It was absolutely one that I would wait for a price drop on. Frankly, it's probably one I'd wait to come to disc replay very cheap. The superhero movies tend to find themselves there pretty quickly after release. But after reading some of the reviews, not fully reading them, but just seeing some of the scores on the disc, they're very high. And so this one is supposed to look and sound amazing. And because of that, I am a little bit more interested in grabbing it. And it's a superhero movie, which I love superhero films. And the real reason I would like this one is because it stars The Rock. Now, the trailers on this one looked a little bit mediocre, if I'm being frank, but honestly, it has The Rock in it, and that's good enough. It doesn't matter what else is going on. You put Dwayne Johnson in your film, and I'm interested in it. So that's one that I definitely want to see, and given what I've heard about the 4K disc on this, I'll probably end up picking this one up. If not on release day, probably sometime by the end of the month here, so we'll see how this goes. But this is one that is a native 4K transfer, which is always good, and then it has HDR10 and Dolby Vision. Now, it's exactly what you would expect from a big budget superhero film like this, because on the audio side, you're also getting that Dolby Atmos soundtrack. So they didn't skimp on either the audio or the visual quality on this, and that's probably why this disc is rating so highly. So looking forward to checking out this disc. Maybe it's a sleeper hit of 2022, even though it comes out on the very first Tuesday of the month. People will probably forget about it by the end of the year, but who knows? This is one I would like to grab and review just to see, what my thoughts are on the AV side of things. And then on the special features end of it, it looks like there's over an hour of special features. There's about 10 different featurettes on this one. So they only equal about an hour, but still, that's pretty good. As I'm someone who doesn't tend to watch a lot of special features unless I'm actually reviewing the disc. But when there's only an hour of them and you have The Rock in there, I'm a little bit more interested in checking these ones out. So looking forward to checking out this disc to see what it's all about. This is full price, currently $29.96 on Amazon as of filming. And like I said, there is a Best Buy exclusive steelbook for this, which honestly I think looks pretty mediocre, which is why I'm just going with the slipcover version. But yeah, either way, they do have that steelbook and the slipcover, so pick whichever one looks best to you. So Black Adam comes in at number 4, releasing today, January 3rd from Warner Brothers. The top 3 of this month are ones that I definitely plan on grabbing, and honestly, even number 3 and number 2 aren't even that exciting, which I'll talk about here. At least for most people, I'm super excited about them, but I can see why a lot of others might not be. So coming in at number 3 for me is a film from 2008, released by Paramount Pictures. This is Cloverfield, and this is a 15th anniversary steelbook coming out on 4K on January 17th. So this is a movie that I will be triple dipping on because I owned the original Blu-ray when that released, and then I owned it I own the 4K of it, the standard 4K, and now I'm going to grab this steelbook. And let's be frank, from looking at the technical aspects and the special features, this appears to be the exact same 4K disc that already released. So is that disappointing? Yeah, it is disappointing that they've added nothing to it, but frankly, I love this movie. This is one of my favorite found footage films. I loved it when I saw it in theaters back in 2008, and I've loved it every time I've seen it since. I just enjoy this movie, and I'm happy to support it because, like I said, it's a favorite of mine. I think Cloverfield was super underrated when it released, and I think over time, it has gained a little more respect, but I love this one. And so, even though I do own it already on 4K, this steelbook looks awesome, and so I'm willing to spend the money to upgrade to this steelbook. And like I said, it's a 15th anniversary edition, so you'd hope there'd be a little bit more, but unfortunately there's just not. So the tech aspects are the same and the special features, and for reference, this is an upscaled 4K transfer if that is something that matters to you, and it does have HDR10 and Dolby Vision color grading, so that's always cool to see. On the audio side, it's the exact same audio track that was there on the 4K release and on the Blu-ray release of this one. It is a Dolby True HD 5.1 track. Now, honestly, it's probably as good as it's ever going to get because I doubt they have anything better available. And so I'm sure this is just as good as it is when it comes to the audio side. So keep that in mind. This will absolutely not be for everybody. The special features are identical as well. They are, there are some on there if you care about that, but they're the same as what was available previously on the other 4K disc. So this isn't going to be one that a lot of people will be excited about, but because I love this movie so much, I'm absolutely supporting it with my money, and I will grab this 15th anniversary steelbook of it. So this one is currently $21.23 on Amazon for some reason, which is a ridiculous price, but that is, of course, as of filming. So this is one, I wish it was under 20, but it is what it is. And frankly, it might drop. A lot of these have been dropping in price right before release. So that's what I'm hoping for as we approach that, January 17th date again. So number 3 is going to be Cloverfield from 2008 on 4K Steelbook coming out on January 17th from Paramount Pictures. Coming in at number 2 is a boutique label release from Scream Factory. This is Dawn of the Dead from 2004, and this releases at the end of the month on January 31st. So this is the 4K debut of Zack Snyder's Dawn of the Dead. This is one of my favorite zombie films ever. When this came out, it was like a 1-2 punch of Texas Chainsaw Massacre in 2003 and then Dawn of the Dead. And those are really the reasons I will always like horror remakes. From then on, I was just obsessed with watching horror remakes. Now, mind you, it was that era of the remake, but still, because of those, I will always give remakes a chance. So this is not a double dip. This isn't even a triple dip. This is a quadruple dip for this movie for me. I owned the DVD when it released, and then I upgraded to the standard Blu-ray, and then Scream Factory released the Blu-ray of it, so of course I had to buy that, and now I'm going to buy it on 4K from Scream Factory. And again, I don't mind. I love this movie. I will be happy to support it with my money. Now, would I have loved to have just like started with the 4K? Obviously, but still, I'm happy that this is coming out and that I get to support it again. And this is one where I'm super interested to see what the transfer looks like. Now, the only new like feature on this disc is that there is a new 4K transfer from the original negative of the unrated cut of this film. Now, this is one of the rare times where when I watched the Scream Factory disc, I thought to myself, wow, there's a lot of film grain here, and it's a little bit distracting. Now, please don't get me wrong. I understand that film grain is supposed to be there. I love film grain, but this release was almost a bit too much, in my opinion. Like, maybe something should have been done with this. A little bit of DNR, which I know will be very controversial. A lot of people won't agree with that, but it was just so distracting at points that I was like, man, this is just weird. And so I'm very curious to see what this new 4K transfer is going to look like. And because of that, I'm willing to spend the money on this one alone. So there are a good amount of special features here, but again, they're all ported over from the Blu-ray release, and on the technical side, it's the same tech specs, except of course you do have that new 4K transfer. But this is an upscaled 4K release, and it only has HDR10 color grading, so no Dolby Vision. It would have been cool if they did, an upgrade there to add Dolby Vision to it, but it is what it is. And then on the audio side, again, no upgrade there either. It is a DTS HD Master Audio 5.1 track. So this is one that was on the standard Blu-ray release and the Scream Factory release. So really, the reason you're buying this is simply for that new 4K transfer of the unrated cut and to get, obviously, that upscale with 4K and HDR10. Otherwise, there's no real reason to grab this one. So if you are not a Zack Snyder Dawn of the Dead diehard fan like I am, you can probably skip this one. But I love this one, so I'm absolutely picking this up. This is currently $29.99 on Amazon, so it's not cheap, but it's Scream Factory. It's a Scream Factory 4K. They're all pretty much the exact same price when they come out. So it is what it is. I knew what it was going to be coming in, and I'm still, going to pay that because I love this movie. So number 2 from Scream Factory, releasing at the end of the month, January 31st, is Zack Snyder's Dawn of the Dead, hitting 4K. Really excited about this one, even though there's not too much really to be excited about. All right, so number 1 on my list was actually number 3 when I was organizing this until I started doing the research. And because this is not a double dip for me, it's not just like the same material ported over, like there's new things here, this one just deserves the number 1 spot. So number 1 on my list is going to Vestron Video with their release of The Dentist Collection from 96 and 1998. This one is hitting Blu-ray on January 24th, 2023. So, like I said, this one is really exciting because this is the Blu-ray debut, at least in the States, I believe, of The Dentist and The Dentist 2. This is a series that, frankly, is not that easy to find even on DVD. I've been looking for The Dentist 2 for quite some time now. Now, The Dentist I did find sometime, I don't know, a year or two ago on DVD. And I actually, you know what? I think it was in my inherited movie collection is where I picked it up. So I was really happy to find that. And it is a gruesome movie. I remember it I just remember it being super cringy because it was so gross and it's dealing with like teeth things, dentist stuff, which is just creepy in general. So yeah, really excited to have this one on Blu-ray. And then The Dentist 2 I've never seen, but I remember I think it was like my aunt and uncle watching it when I was much, much younger. I think they won't let me see it, but I remember them watching it one night when I was over and seeing little bits of it. And so I want to see that movie. And so I'm really excited about both of these. And the best part is that in true Vestron fashion, 1, it's cheap, and 2, you're getting brand new features on both of these releases. You not only get a audio commentary track on both of these with the director and I believe it's the special effects supervisor, so that should be a really good commentary track on both the movies, but then you also get 3 featurettes for both plus the trailer. So I mean, that's pretty darn good. And the best part, this is $12.99 currently on Amazon. You can't beat that. That's why this has earned the top spot. Not only is it movies that are hitting Blu-ray for the first time, but it's a 2-pack with special features that are new, and it's super cheap. That's awesome. So Vestron has earned the top spot for me this month. I already have this one pre-ordered, and I cannot wait until January 24th when The Dentist Collection hits Blu-ray from Vestron Video. So that comes in at number 1 for the month of January. All right, so those are the 5 releases that I am most excited about, and frankly, 3 of them only are ones that I definitely know I'm gonna pick up. I'm not sure about the other 2. Black Adam, just because of the reviews, I'm thinking about grabbing it, but the movie itself is not supposed to be very good. It's just the disc that's supposed to look good. So I don't know. Let me know down in the comments below, what are you grabbing this month? I know there are other things that I didn't talk about, but I just wasn't excited about them, so I didn't want to even mention them. But let me know what you're grabbing. Black Adam, should I pick it up? Should I wait on it? Let me know what your thoughts are. And then, is Vestron in your top spot as well? Are you picking up that Dentist collection? I can't wait for that. I think it's going to be a lot of fun. So let me know what you're grabbing and anything else you have thoughts on down in the comments below. I always appreciate any and all comments, so thanks so much for that. But that is it, guys. So if you enjoyed this one, please hit that like button down below. That engagement really does help me out. And as I always say, I don't just talk movies, I talk all things media. Books, movies, video games, graphic novels, manga, records. If it's media related, I'm interested in it. And if you are too, you might consider subscribing. Alright guys, so that's going to do it for today. I just want to say thank you all so much for watching, and I will catch you all next time.